Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. I am your host, Michael Karvelis, and this is Daily Dive. It is Thursday, January the 8th, 2026. This show begins now. We are live streaming via the airwaves of North American Talk Radio on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel before you go for other great shows and videos, live sports, and of course notifications for this show. On today's awesome episode, just two topics, but they will be worth it. The first one, I had a conversation yesterday, and I want to talk about it a little bit here. Will sixes at the Olympics save us, meaning lacrosse fans, and the sport of lacrosse? I'm a little scared. Then we will create the narrative for week number 7. All 8 games, including Halifax and Rochester, doubleheaders. Before we get started, we want to let you know this show is presented by the ticketing platform at natalkradio.com. Head over to the North American Talk Radio's website and click the Event Tickets tab today. When you do, you will be sent to Vivid Seats, where you can type in your local or favorite National Lacrosse League team. Also, you can check out other great events in your area. natalkradio.com. Click the Event Tickets tab today. It can't hurt, said Kai the goalie, regarding the first topic, which we'll get to very soon. In all 8 games, says Captain. We'll see him on tomorrow's show. The games are scrolling at the bottom of your screen as well, but we'll keep an eye on that in the next segment here. All right, so will sixes save us? Here's the issue. Well, not the issue. Let's set the tone here for why this came up in my brain. Yesterday, I was having a conversation. I forgot how it started. All I remember is how it ended with me realizing, man, this is going to be a topic on today's show. Basically, I was thinking about sixes in the conversation. We were talking, like sixes came up, and it just kind of bugged me because I know for years, as a person in Southeast Georgia who swears he loves every sport, I saw college lacrosse on TV. I thought lacrosse looked cool, probably like every other person that's ever seen college lacrosse. And then I just kind of let it go. I like sports so much that I actually had the KC Power lacrosse game on the Xbox. I played it probably for a few hours worth of time, had fun with it, didn't care after that. I remember watching YouTube videos, countless YouTube videos of this sport that I did not know the name of, never paid attention to it, but I saw the Edmonton Rush win a championship. I saw the Georgia Swarm win a championship, and I just occasionally when this lacrosse league inside of a hockey rink would pop up, I never cared to look at it past that. That was my casual viewership of lacrosse. And then, and I believe, 2021, 22 or whatever, we started season 1 of this show, and I latched on to the National Lacrosse League with some help of a person and friends who encouraged me to do this, but it's like, that was how I got into the sport. And again, as a person in Southeast Georgia, all we know is baseball, NASCAR, and football, okay? And I like basketball, love basketball. But lacrosse was not there. And the fact that Georgia Swarm won a championship in this state really bothered me. I did not know that. I say all that to say this. I feel like a little bit how the brain of sports fans works. I know how confused I was going from college lacrosse to the Casey Powell video game to this YouTube highlight reels of the Rush and the Swarm, and then dropping it because there was nothing to convince me to go other places. So if I'm a person who is, I promise you, a lot of people know what lacrosse is. They just can't tell you anything about it. It's like, oh, it's the thing with the stick and the ball and yeah, that one. Oh, the soccer field, yeah, that one. Unfortunately, so I know that like when people are going to watch the Olympics, you might attract millions of viewers. You probably will. And it's a matter of, is that product that you see at the Olympics enough to take it up? And as Kai the goalie mentioned, and this is a great point, it can't hurt. It can't hurt. But like, if I'm a person who still has that mindset of, lacrosse is kind of cool, I guess. And especially if I'm a person down here who thinks it's just a broccoli head rich kid sport, I don't know if sixes is what I'm going to say, oh yeah, I love lacrosse now. It's not. And I talked about this about a month ago, maybe more at this point, that like basketball, when they do 3v3, and not really at the Olympics, I think they do have that sometimes, but like 3v3 basketball, right? You don't just like, the basketball does not change their rules to after every bucket you do a tip-off again. Because a tip-off is the equivalent of a face-off. Like, that's what it is. And so, basketball does not do that. So, why does lacrosse change everything about itself? Why does it go from a sport that has face-offs at field and the box levels to this random sixes thing? It doesn't make any sense. I tried to watch sixes with the women's thing that the PLL did, and I was so confused. It happened way too quickly. Oh, I'll go and back the other way like nothing happened. That's not what lacrosse has ever been. There's been a fist pump. You don't even have time to fist pump in sixes. And that's not even my strongest points. Because here's the deal with sixes. The United States lacrosse, or whoever the crap runs it, did not want box in the Olympics. Guys, field is not going to cut it. Field looks like soccer with sticks. It's not fun to watch. And the goal here, I mean, I hope that people appreciate the history of the game. I know Haudenosaunee kind of has to be there for that to happen. But we don't know how that will unfold. But you can't expect a casual viewer to watch field lacrosse and say, man, that was awesome. Because even baseball had a pitch clock. Even the PLL dropped their shot clock down. It doesn't work. So field was not the answer. Because there's a bunch of gatekeepers, box was not the answer. So sixes. It doesn't make sense, though. That there is no huge professional sixes league. I know, shout out to the Sixes Prize League. No one cares, though. PLL and NLL is what fans are going to find if they search up lacrosse leagues. And if they search up professional lacrosse, they're going to find the PLL because Paul Rabel, regardless of that point. Fans, the casual fan is going to look up a lacrosse league and find field, which is way slower, or box, which I've always said is the better version based on other things, based on other entertainment things around us, based on what other sports have done. Box is clearly the best version of lacrosse. But at this point, I would have almost rather have field in the Olympics because this combination sports, the sixes thing, feels like someone started a sport and only got about 80% of the product completed. It doesn't look good. And so I'm scared when you combine that with the fact that fans have no idea where to go afterwards. Like, are the PLL and NLL going to be super proactive about this? Because there's a way, even though sixes is a weird looking product compared to other lacrosse things, or forms, but can you convince the masses to come to your league? I'm telling you guys, NLL looks awesome on TV, looks great in person. It's the better product. But that being said, who is going to be proactive? And Paul Rabel and Brett Thru are going to be in a huge dogfight with that. And I don't know if I trust either one. I know the PLL's got the ESPN backing, and that certainly helps. But this is an NLL-focused show for a reason. I am scared the NLL is not proactive enough until the very end. Because we've seen this before. We have seen this National Lacrosse League drop the ball 10 million times before. And that's in just the 3.5 years that I've been covering it. I don't even want to know how Adam Levy and Dan Aresti and others feel. Believe me, I don't. Because I would go insane. But I'm scared that Sixes, I want there, like in all of our brains, we want this to explode the sports. But unfortunately, my thoughts are like what Kai the goalie originally said. It can't hurt, but I don't know if that means it helps us a bunch. I don't know, man. I'm scared. And I don't trust the people in charge to make me feel less scared. I don't feel comfortable. I don't know if this is going to explode our sport. I think it will put us on a good trajectory, but we want to do big gator mouth. We don't want the small slopes. We've done that for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60, 70, whatever. I don't know. Comments here. No, Kai, again, people who play lacrosse, and this is not just a Kai, if this is your mindset, you have no idea how fans operate. You have no idea. And again, this is not a shot at Kai the goalie. My point with this is a lazy mindset. You just got to play. That's what baseball players say. That's what soccer players say. I'm telling you, from a casual sports fan's point of view, they don't care. There is no, you got to play. No, I don't have to play. You're not trying to convince them. It would be nice if the young kids played, but we need eyeballs. We don't need athletes. We need eyeballs. Athletes help, but there are already lacrosse athletes. We need eyeballs. And if I'm sitting here just a regular couch analyst about this stuff, I'm not convinced if I watch Sixes. I'm just not. I promise you, if National Lacrosse League was Sixes, I would have still not given a rat's behind about the sport. I promise you that. So no, we need to stop saying, you got to play. No. That's what so many lacrosse people say. It doesn't make sense. There's no reason for it. And again, we're past the creators game at this point. I don't have to play. I'm so people who think you have to play sports to watch them or understand them, sorry, that's not how this works. And again, Kai's the one commenting, but I promise you guys, it doesn't matter. If I'm a casual fan, you gotta play, you've already turned me off. I'm here watching TV. I don't want to play, obviously. And again, the Champ Series absolutely is dog piles of crap. I promise you, casual fans think Sixes looks discombobulated and weird. And then if that's the first thing they see, I promise you they're not going to care afterwards. There's no reason to, because there's no league that has Sixes. So why would they go to the slow PLL or NLL? It makes no sense. I mean, social media product, yeah. But Paul Rabel has no clue. The fact that he actually dropped it down is hysterical. Like, he dropped his own shot clock down. That shows you he knows what the better product is. People cannot stand to watch baseball. I said it before, did the exact same thing. They understand what works with viewers. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. And it's ridiculous. Like the fact, I honestly, this is what lacrosse deals with, though. And I think, again, sixes is a very odd product. Fire Sawyer, welcome back, sir. Hey, has your idea. Learn to talk. And by the way, folks, Frick loves to talk a big game and get half the story. So I'm just saying, like, if people want to come on here and take shots at me, you were literally part of the problem. I am a person from Georgia who is liking your sport. This sport, to me, was a broccoli-head white kid sport. That's the joke down here in the States about your sport. So if you want people to give a crap about your sport that you have pride for, shut the hell up and educate. How's that for a change, Frick? You want to come on this show? You want to insult people? You keep doing that. You are part of the problem. You are the reason why people run away from this. Because you think we all should know everything about it, and we don't. I'm a kid from Savannah, Georgia. I have no clue about lacrosse. And if you think for 10 seconds that six is going to change that, you're dead wrong. You are absolutely wrong. So we can do this whole insult thing all day. But until we get there, you're going to find out how miserably you fail. I do a daily show. I talk lacrosse every day. I don't get paid for this. So I will do this all day long. If you love the sport, you talk about it every single day. See, we can hash things out on Twitter all you want to. You can tell me what you think about me. We're not doing this. Stop being a gatekeeper. Stop it. I'm not scared of people. And this fact that people think, oh, we'll just play bullcrap. People don't know about your sport. Educate them instead of insulting them. When we come back, though, we are going to create the narrative for week number 7.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
Welcome back to Daily Dive, the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. Isn't that something for a guy who doesn't play? No, you got to let a segment die in the end. And by the way, I actually really hope, like, I am begging Brett Fruit and Paul Reed. I beg both of them to make sixes work, but I'm scared. I'm scared. Like I said before, the gator mouth does not open as much as we hope it will. And again, that can change if the people in charge are better. It almost comes down to advertising for me. Because again, I look at it from this perspective of, I didn't know what lacrosse was. And I thought I did, but now I actually know, but I had to do it myself. And I feel like if fans of the Olympics actually, and I hope they do, because the sport is intriguing at the least. I really, to sum that segment up, I hope we get the proper, hey, now do this, like shove it down, as when the Olympics is happening, shove it down the throats of social media. Advertise, like pay for so much advertising dollars like you never have before. NLL, put a commercial on NBC or whoever is airing the Olympics. PLL, you do the same. Like, show them why, hey, do you like lacrosse? Show them a bunch of action. I think that would work. But I'm scared we're not going to get to that. I don't know. We'll see, though. All right, time to create the narrative for week number 7. All right, so there is 8 games, by the way, which is amazing. Like I love this. And by the way, part of the reason I only had 2 segments today, I figured people in the comments were going to have some good conversation about sixes. So that I do appreciate, even the freaks of the world. He made a good point about volleyball. I'm sure beach volleyball. No, that's a good point. I know Kai the goalie and CLL were talking about the only excuse for box not being chosen. Equipment is expensive. Yeah, that's a shame. But yeah, good comments there, folks. All of you. I mean, like I said, the conversation is what matters here. So, speaking of conversation, if you were at the barbershop, really, we're like so far past the barbershop at this point. If you were on social media this weekend, what are you going to be talking about? And what are you talking about? Let me know in the comments below for each game. Creating the narrative, week 7. All right, so the first game, obviously, we're going to get to Halifax and Ottawa. I actually love the fact that Halifax is like the far East Coast, because it feels like them playing an hour before most teams is actually pretty cool. It's kind of like, hey, you get Thunderbirds every week, which kind of like makes them more popular. And it's like the only reason they are is because they're in like a lucky, it's a lucky time zone, at least for me on the East Coast. I guess for the West Coast it matters too, but they always play first, so I think it's awesome for them. That's not the talking point, though. Halifax and Ottawa. Can Halifax bounce back? Now, they have a doubleheader this weekend. Their next game will be at Oshawa, who they already spanked around, you know? But I'm curious if the Thunderbirds, how much did the Rush take out of them? Yeah, no, I know, but like, it's weird that like Halifax always plays early. To be fair, though, I think this game's also at 7. But I guess, good point. I guess I was saying usually when they're at home, they play 6 o'clock, but good point, though. So, can Halifax bounce back? Like, what the Rush did to them, if anything, was take a little bit of their psyche away. Like, Halifax was in both of those games. I told you guys, I thought they were better the first game. And in the second game, they kept it close until they didn't. So what is their response? And I know it's a doubleheader, but everyone wants to go 2-0 on a doubleheader weekend. But the goal here is for them, you have to win the first game. Because if you don't, I'm scared for you in the second game. But that being said, Halifax at Ottawa, how does Halifax respond? Rochester Nighthawks at the Philadelphia Wings. This one is also at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. This, of course, I mean, it's sad that it comes to this, but not really sad. Did you know there was 470,000 views on YouTube on the short the NLL posted of Rylan Hartley against Nick Damude? That was 300,000 more than some Connor Farrell face-off routine. So Rylan Hartley and Nick Damude brought some major eyeballs to the sport. So that was crazy. But so this is honestly, Rochester at Philly is a rematch of the goalie fight. Also, for the record, is Brandon O'Neill going to keep on being awesome? Because remember, I believe the last game against Ottawa, they lost, but Brandon O'Neill had a sock trick. So I know the story is the goalie fight my selfish self, who loves Brandon O'Neill, also kind of like wants to see what he does now. Jeez. A steel cage is crazy, by the way. Agreed on Halifax. They need to stay out the box. He said that would do numbers to Karvelis and Frick fights. We need less fights off the floor and more fights on the floor. Throwing hands will get more eyes on the game with a boxing glove, and maybe stitches should be changed. You guys are crazy. All right, next up, Vancouver at Calgary. There were two major storylines in this game. The second one you might keep on forgetting about like I did. So, Del Bianco, Dixon, and Jesse King are back in Calgary. And I believe that also applies to Shane Simpson. Oh, and also in this game, Dane Dobie to the rafters. So it's such a fun game because Del Bianco, Dixon, and King are there, as is Shane Simpson. But I think it's going to be awesome if when Dane Dobie gets like his thing retired. Also, the face-off dot is weird here. I'm assuming Justin Anasio is okay. Max Adler, they just released that he is going to be in the number 9 jersey. Does he play this weekend? I would say yes, but I'm curious about if it's Adler versus Anasio and how well Adler does. So we'll see. Oh, yeah, also the return of Malowski. Wow, that's a good point. Time Lord, that's a great name. Rochester having a back-to-back against Philly and then Buffalo. Feels like the league wanting them to lose to Buffalo. I'm going to get to that, but that's an interesting point there. You mean Reese Callies, Simpson. Fair point. We'll go Reese Callies. Reese Callies, winner of Fresh Fits this year, so one time. So we'll do the return of Dixon, Del Bianco, Jesse King, and Reese Callies. There we go. All right. Next up, we're going to do the 10:30 Eastern games. These games are still on Friday, by the way. Saskatchewan at Las Vegas. And I know there are people, and I knew this was coming because the report was, well, I got it earlier, but the report was Caleb Kahn on backup duties and then simultaneously bouquets of the short-term holdouts. I ain't buying it. How long, and again, respect to Landon Kells, but how long of a leash does Landon Kells get against Saskatchewan? The Rush's offense is nothing to sneeze at. They showed in both games against Halifax they can score late when they need to. I also don't think this game will be close, full disclosure. But if Landon Kells, the doors start to fall off, or the wheels start to Deshaun Williams let Caleb Kahn try it. Because he's been quick to give it to Bouquet. So, this game's on Landon Kells. And I'm very excited if we see Caleb Kahn. Next up, the final game on Friday at 10:30 Eastern, as well as the Vegas game. Toronto at San Diego. We're at the San Diego Zoo. All right, so this game for me, the goalie battle here is so crazy. You either are going to have Nick Rose and Chris Riglieri, or Troy Halichuk and Cameron Dungerley. Like, we don't know. I'm assuming Nick Rose is fine now. Riglieri was hurt last. Like, this is crazy. Like, the goalie battle here could go 5 different ways. Also, whoever the goalies are, regardless, the winner of this game, I think we're going to live to fight another week. See, in a week-to-week league, these teams that lose just once in the weekend, they got a lot of time to think about this, which is why I caution people on begging for 50 games in a season. But San Diego right now is 1-2. So is Toronto. The loser of this game is going to feel like, God, are we even good? The winner, back to 500. Praise the Lord. Let's move forward. It's crazy. Create the narrative. More mover writing out of Oshawa. Ty Kurtz for Tanner Cook. You know, the Ty Kurtz thing is getting very loud in Oshawa. I don't know if there's anything internally there, but it seems like it wouldn't surprise me if Ty Kurtz is the one to bite the bullet if the Oshawa offense does fall back on the earth. I say back to the earth because last week against Ottawa, it looked better, but No. Well, I mean, again, he sucks in Vegas, and I don't know, again, I don't think, and I know Kyler Gold is just having fun with that. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's not fair to say that Kells has not been good. I just don't think that we gotta start, we don't want to hold him like a baby. Like, oh wow, you're not good with Vegas. Maybe he gets another chance somewhere else. He's not the answer in Vegas. Captain, I feel like Oshawa needs to make one shakeup. Yeah, I mean, sure. Low off the floor on Rosie. He can't lift his feet. Yeah. Rose, but okay, come on. We're not doing the Rose thing here. Utica says, I think Hawks Nathan Grennan. Whoa. Is Nathan Grennan back on the Nighthawks again? I thought Grennan was gone. I thought they released, somebody released him again. I don't know. They gotta give more respect to Nathan Grennan, if we're being honest. Chase. All right, so man, y'all are crazy. All right, so next game, we're gonna switch to Saturday, where the Rochester Nighthawks are on a back-to-back. This is going to be the first huge test, though, for Rochester as they host Buffalo. Now, I know people in Rochester are saying it's Buffalo week, which also is kind of cool that rivalry does exist. But I also saw on the Bandits Mafia Facebook group, once again, a ton of fans are traveling to Rochester. So, it is a rivalry game. The narrative on this game is Rochester-Buffalo. It speaks for itself. I'm curious how many fans show up to this game from for Seneca Nation, because remember, I believe Spencer Conley came on the show, what was it, yesterday or the day before? And he was saying how year-to-year comparison for December 20th, it was way more fans. So this barn might be packed, but it's a massive rivalry game. So next up, the second game on Saturday, Halifax, it's 7 o'clock as well, I believe. Halifax at Oshawa. This is a big opportunity and revenge spot for Oshawa. Remember, Halifax won 11-2 in their own barn. Well, here's the thing. I also think it's very wild that Halifax not just has a doubleheader. Halifax has got a doubleheader both on the road. That's got to be a pain. I know it's Oshawa, Ottawa. It's not traveling from country to country here. It's pretty brutal, though. And you're not going to be able to see your family or sleep in your bed for a couple hours. You're not getting any of that. So I think Oshawa's got a big opportunity to possibly get an upset win here. But I haven't picked that for the record. But it's certainly something to keep an eye on. And again, a little bit of a revenge spot for them. But if Halifax, let me be honest, if Halifax can come out of this weekend 2-0, they are right back on, we are right back on the Halifax bandwagon. But, oh man, the double losses to the Rush have got to be, maybe it's motivating them. I'm sure it is. But so much going on. I also wonder if Oshawa gets back to a towing the line like Saskatchewan did, trying to get under the birds, trying to pick their feathers. Enough, you pick enough feathers off the Thunderbird, it gets angry. I'm just saying. Next up, we're finally going to get to this. Colorado at Georgia. Kai, the goalie, will be making his triumphant return to Gas South Arena. That's not the story here, but you get it. Can Colorado make a run. We said, I believe, yesterday's show, like I said on air, that Colorado has two of the best wins this season. They beat Vancouver to start the season when Vancouver was the preseason champs. They beat Rochester when Rochester was 2-0, and the whole world, including myself, was riding the Nighthawks. The problem is, in your barn, you lost 12-3 to Georgia. Can you ride the wave of Jack Hanna making the offense look great? Or are we going to look at like Brett Dobson kind of pulling away in goalie of the year? Again, can you imagine if the Thunderbirds go 2-0 and Warren Hill has a strong weekend and then Brett Dobson somehow sweeps the Mammoth? It's a two-goalie. You can add Del Bianco, obviously, but it feels like a two-man goalie of the year race. So I'm curious. This is one of the hardest games to pick, for disclosure. Was it just a blip when they scored 3? I don't know. And can Georgia score enough to beat them again? What a wild weekend, man. What a wild, wild weekend. Kind of the goalie says I'm playing at halftime. Hey. Yeah. Oh, okay. I saw like the Swarm posting about that. I believe it's also country night. So now I'm actually like even happier I'm not going. I'm kidding. I think there's like a 15-year-old country music singer actually playing at the game. That's awesome, Kai, on TSN. Plus, oh, cool. You lucky dog captain. I forgot about that. We get commercials. Interesting. I wonder, is Loose Mesh doing a halftime show at all this week? That'll be also interesting to see. CLO's asking, okay, well, more. I love the comments once again. Thanks for all of you that did comment as well. And that includes Frick, for the record. It keeps the conversation going. It keeps the show entertaining. No, I'm happy because I can't stand the country stuff, man. I'm just not that kind of guy. I'm a city boy at heart. If you couldn't tell, I'm soft. Whatever. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching today's show. There's other great content on North American Talk Radio coming. We appreciate all of you who subscribe to not just this show, but the channel in general. NATalkRadio.com. Click the event tickets tab for events or games in your area. I went to a crappy monster truck show, but the best part, the ticket process was easy. So I did verify that. I've heard that like some of Jeff Beck's friends have used it as well. No big deal. So check that out. Come on, Mike, get to Georgia. I am in Georgia. It's not in Duluth. Gangster rap all day, recording the pod. Oh, that's cool. And there's also, again, a TSN doubleheader as well. More free advertising. More free advertising. I'm happy that this show lasted with only 2 topics today. That was good. We'll see you tomorrow. Gamble Guy Captain and Pack Regard will be here. That's a fun time. Lots of bets to be made. And I have got to find a way to get my pick'em back on track. Again, shout out to Frick. Like on Loose Mash, like Frick has been. It's funny, like after Frick, I'm like, well, once Frick joined the Lex Tillyman pick'em media page, like he's been on fire. So like maybe I need to go join the Lex Tillyman page because I think I'm back down to under 500 on my picks. It's unbelievable. No. You all have a great day, everybody. This has been Daily Dive. Bye.